Well, a hot button issue that surfaced at the beginning of the year is still in full force now, and we understand that come Tuesday, the City Council will finally vote on this matter after tabling it. In fact, they had tabled it till like March or April, and now it's moved back up again. Anyway, the issue before them is whether to extend health care benefits for City Council members until the age of 65, even if they're not in office anymore. And that would be a very nice perk, because we all know government health care benefits are usually much cheaper anyway than what we pay for in the private sector. At any rate, Martavius Jones was the councilman who proposed it. It would have benefited him directly and a couple of others on the council at the time. And it's just interesting to me how reluctant City Council is to take this up, because I have yet to see a number that's shown any research on how much this might cost taxpayers. And as a result, the Greater Memphis Chamber, led by Ted Townsend this week, came out with a position on this, which the Chamber rarely does. They try to stay away from this kind of thing as much as possible, but says it's absolutely a bad idea. It erodes public trust in public institutions, and at an exact time when we should be trying to rebuild public trust. And I think Ted Townsend is onto something. Reverend Whalen?
Well, I'm proud of Ted. He has proven to be a sort of new style leader for the chamber. I'm surprised that they came out with it, but I am very, very glad that they did. What I am confused about, though, and I apologize because I thought this would have had to go to a referendum for the voters to vote on. I think it's absolutely horrible that, now, the answer to your question is they don't care how much it'll cost the taxpayer. They do not care how much it'll cost. And I think it's unfortunate, and I'm a bit embarrassed for the sitting council members, especially the newly elected ones, who are voting for this, hoping maybe nobody will say anything about it. That's ridiculous, and if I were a potential candidate for one of those positions, I'd use this as fodder against them. I think it's ridiculous.
Well, it's the whole thing of, and I'm way too critical of this probably, but at least in this town, and I know it happens everywhere, so many politicians seem to be about not public service, but public serve me. We had the revelation from the Daily Memphian a couple weeks ago about the big junket that the police department took to Puerto Rico for a recruitment trip, some 15 people necessary for that trip, amazingly. We had the surprise birthday party involving Martavius Jones and J.D. Smiley Jr., where they decided to have at taxpayer expense. And these things just keep trickling out, keep happening.
If you say Martavius Jones one more time, I'm going to bring up the school board.
So I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. This is a terrible idea, and maybe I missed it. Maybe they've already taken care of it. But did they do this for the school teachers, or did I just not see that? Did they do that? Did they do that for the other public servants?
Well, that's another point Ted Townsend makes. Is it was extended to police and fire. They have that, but a third of city employees would not have this benefit.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. And you're exactly right. It is a perennial culture of self-dealing in this town. We now have a credible conflict of interest allegation against one of the council members that was disclosed a few weeks ago. There's a complaint made. I'm sure that's going to be looked into. We have all these massive issues in this community. And I'm not saying we can't, walk and chew gum at the same time, but this is absolutely ridiculous. And look, maybe down the road, when we've got a handle on some of this other stuff, maybe there's a conversation to be had about how we compensate public servants. You want to attract the best people, but to have it affect and benefit the people who are in office, the fact that it's not going before the people, the fact that we have incredibly important and imminent business that the people need to get done, it's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. They need to pull it immediately, and every single member of the Memphis City Council should come out full-throated and disavow this, period.
What they said.
And we wonder where the cynicism comes from voters. We wonder how a man gets elected to the mayor with only 7% of registered voters taking part. Well, stories like this, they're all in it for themselves. They don't really care about serving their constituents, and it just feeds on itself, and we see it every time people are asked to come to the polls because they've just given up largely.
Well, but the good news here is there is a lot of groundswell against this now. They were just trying to be quiet about it at the end of the year and just sort of quietly on those first two readings. But now that it's for this third and final reading, everybody's all over this. Good for the chamber for coming out against this. Good for the former council members like Kim Conrad and others who are coming out against it. It is ridiculous, and I predict that on Tuesday it'll probably go down with unanimous defeat because they don't want what you said, Ken. They don't want an opponent to throw this back in their face 4 years from now.
Did I hear you say Martavis Jones? Okay, so
I did not say Martavis.
So Martavis Jones and Patrice Robinson were the two people responsible for surrendering the charter of Memphis Public Schools, and our city has been in a tailspin ever since. And for him to be one of the leaders of this particular self-dealing effort is amazing to me. You ought to be ashamed.
Well, he tried to defend it with a column in the Daily Memphian
Totally
that went over
unconvincing.
like a lead balloon.
Totally
Right,
unconvincing.
exactly.
What was his reason? I missed that one.
Well, it just said we were being hysterical about this. This is
And it's voluntary.
and it's voluntary. It's not going to affect that many people.
It was not a defense of the merits of it. It was picking at the edges and complaining about the media attention.
Exactly.
It was
Complaining about the
woefully
media is what it really
unconvincing.
was.
Just like they did when we went after them for the free lunches every time they had a meeting, and we saw city council members stuffing food in their pockets.
Right.
Good work if you can get it.
But I agree with Ken on this. Martavius, you're a good guy. But shame on you for this. And you should come out and apologize for doing it and urge the council to not pass it.
Okay. All right. Well, if
My
Martavius
job
wants,
here
if
is
you want to
done.
come on the show, Martavius, and defend yourself, the invitation has been extended. All right, I want to thank all of three of you for being here today. I feel smarter and a little lighthearted now that I had a chance to laugh with Reverend Whalum here. And we want to thank you at home as well. We'll see you next week for ABC24 This Week.